Hey beauties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. And for today's video, I'm going to compare and review and demo 5 different foundations from Chanel. These 5 foundations, they're all different and they are my top 5 favorite at Chanel. I have been using them for quite some time. They're all very different. They all serve a different purpose, different look, different makeup finish, but they all have a place in my makeup kit. So as you can see, I'm not wearing any makeup because I will demo the foundation directly onto my skin so you guys can have an actual visual and really see how they look on the skin. The first foundation that I have is the one that is the closest to skincare. It is the number 1 de Chanel, the Fond de Teint Revitalising au Camellia Rouge Red Camellia Foundation. So this is packed with skincare. It is closer to a skin tint. It's a hybrid between your daily moisturizer, serum-like, to a foundation. I do have baby girl with me in the studio, so if you hear her babbling away, she's just right next to me. This foundation came out, I believe, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I purchased this one while I was still living in Dubai at the time. It's going to give you a very plump look. It doesn't set completely. It stays quite wet and dewy on the skin. It is very sheer. It really just unifies your skin tone and kind of camouflage a little bit the imperfection. So the number 1 Red Camellia collection at Chanel has various products. You do have a lot of skincare, but you also have a few makeup products. So you have your skin enhancer with Red Camellia. You've got soft pink and medium coral. If I were to be wearing this foundation, I would definitely add one of these. I quite like the pink one, the pink, soft pink. This one I think is a little bit too orange to be applied all over my face, but I use it as a highlighter in some areas. They tend to be a bit, not flaky, but they peel a little bit when I've used them with different products. So I only keep them when I'm using my Red Camellia foundation. So now I'm going to put it onto my skin. Also, the shade is currently just a little bit too light for my skin tone. I don't think it doesn't matter because you guys will see anyway. It's the thing when you purchase foundation in Dubai, they tend to make your skin look a little bit more pale and light than you actually is. I think it's the whole thing in Dubai. They quite like to have that super light and pale canvas. So it is quite like it's B20. So it looks quite thick, like it's not a runny, completely liquid foundation. But once you apply it onto your skin, you'll see it just kind of melts onto your skin and it completely disappears. So it's a very light coverage. And it gives you such a beautiful finish. It's literally like you're not wearing anything. It just, because it's packed with skincare, it really helps to retain the moisture in your skin. It really hydrates, and it reduces any little red spot, any inflammation that you might have because of the Red Camellia into it. So if you were to compare the two sides, it has evened out the skin tone. It's very radiant. It's very much like your skin but better. It is not necessarily extremely dewy. It really just gives a super natural finish. It is a very easy foundation. If I come a bit closer, you can see we still see the skin. It's not necessarily blurring or anything. It's really more of a skincare than a foundation. Like as I mentioned, it's a hybrid. So if you're looking for something very light, very hydrating, very soothing for your skin, this is the perfect foundation. It's also great during really hot summer days. Now moving on to Les Beige. So this is the Healthy Glow Foundation, Hydration and Long Wear. So it is part of Les Beige collection. It's been around for a very long time. It's close to Vitalumière if you're familiar with it. It's a bit more thicker than the Vitalumière. The Vitalumière is in that packaging, you gotta shake it. So different packaging, different format, but very close. This is even more radiant than this one, the red camellia. It's a little bit more long wear as well, because the red camellia is, as I mentioned, closer to skincare than just foundation. This one has been my go-to since I don't know even how long. It's been too many years. And there is barely nothing left in the bottle. This is the right shade that I'm using. It's B30. And I'm going to apply it on this side so you guys can see the contrast. So a little bit more liquid on the skin. The other one was a little bit more thick. And it's got a very different look onto the skin. So it's got more perfume into it as well. Obviously, the shades are not quite the same. This is more light. This is a little bit more tan. I do prefer my foundation to be a little bit more tan. I think as we're aging, it looks a little bit nicer, and you stretch it down to your neck and it just blends really nicely, and it gives you a little bit of a healthy glow. In terms of coverage, I would say Les Beige has a little bit more coverage. It is more liquid, but it does give a little bit more coverage onto the skin. If I come here, you see a little bit more my dark circle here. You see a little bit more the pores. They're both extremely radiant. They're both extremely hydrating, extremely light wear. You don't feel them onto your skin. It comes down to what kind of product you're really looking for. The Les Beige, in my opinion and in my experience, Les Beige stays in place a little bit longer. It's a bit more long wear than the red camellia one, just because of the composition of the foundation. They're both super glowy, super radiant foundation. They're just giving you that healthy glow. Very easy to wear foundation. So if I were to scale them, so your red camellia foundation is literally the hybrid between, it's the bridge between your skincare and your foundation. Les Beige, the healthy glow, it is a proper foundation. It's not skincare, it's not a skin tint. It's got a little bit more into it. It does have a little bit more coverage, and it's blurring a little bit more. Now I'm going to compare together the mattest foundation at Chanel and the most dewy and glowy foundation at Chanel. Let's go right away with Les Beige. So this is the Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I absolutely love this foundation because it's so hydrating, it's so fresh. This is a perfect summer foundation. I know CoverGirl has one very similar. Tend to be a bit lighter in the shade, so you do have to go a bit darker in the shade with CoverGirl, that is. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative, this is just beautiful. It is a water-based foundation, obviously. In the foundation, you have all the little pearls of foundation. So in my opinion, this is the closest. I would consider this foundation more of a skin tint than a foundation. So I'm going to, obviously I've removed what I had on my skin, and I'm going to apply it. So one pump, and it's quite runny, it's liquid, and you see now it's not mixed. You gotta mix it together before you apply it onto your skin. I'm gonna go with this brush from Chanel that actually comes with when you purchase one of this foundation. And I'm gonna mix it so you guys can see. Once you mix it, it kind of just blends into a really nice foundation. And it is so light onto your skin. It is B30, but because it is so light, I have B40 and B50. I kind of mix them together. I use the B50 as my bronzer and just put it around like the edge of the face. So super light wear. You're not going to use this because you want to have a full coverage. There's barely no coverage. It just unifies your skin tone, basically. That's all it's doing. It's your skin, but with an added glow. And just, it reduced the redness because you've applied a little bit of color. But look how glowy this is. Obviously, it will camouflage, like, it dims down the redness that you might have. So these three foundations are great if you have a dry skin. However, if you do have an oily skin, I would stay away from them just because they will look quite oily onto you after just a few hours. If you have a combination skin, I think Les Beige, the Healthy Glow Foundation, would probably work onto you if you powder the T-zone. However, these two, especially this one, because it's so dewy, like, I mean, look at how dewy. Yes, like my hair are not sticking. However, if you do have an oily skin, this is the foundation for you. This is the latest formula. This is the new formula, I should say, of the Ultra Le Teint Velvet. It is a blurring, smooth effect foundation with a velvet matte finish. And honestly, if you're looking for a matte foundation at Chanel, this is the one. This is the mattest foundation at Chanel. If you have an oily skin, you're going to love this. It just absorbs the oil, basically. If you do have a dry skin, prep your skin correctly. On the days that I'm wearing this, I always add my moisturizer, my magic cream from Charlotte Tilbury, over my skincare. And it's one thing that I don't think a lot of people, tend to forget. Depending on your skin, if you have a very oily skin, I would barely skip my moisturizer depending on the foundation I'm using. And hear me out. I would choose a foundation that has a little bit of skincare into it. Skip my moisturizer just because if you put too much onto your skin, the foundation is not going to stay. It's going to separate, because if you have an oily skin, you just pack too much things onto your skin. On the other hand, if you have a very dry skin, you do need to prep and apply your serum, your moisturizer, and go for a foundation that is made for dry skin. You need something a little bit more creamy. So I'm gonna give this one a good shake. And what I really, really like with this foundation is how you just apply it with your fingers. So on the days that I'm actually quite in a rush and short on time because of baby girl, let's just say, not because I like to faff in the house, I'm like the queen of faffing. But I will apply a thicker moisturizer, put my sunscreen, and then go over with this with my fingers. So give it a good shake. It's quite liquid, so you'll think, oh, how can this be super matte? Trust me on this. It is super blurring. I'm using shade B30. I mean, have you seen how easy the application is? How matte, how dewy, radiant and glowy. Even so, it is still radiant, but completely matte. It's that velvet finish that I really, really like. And I just love how easy it is. It's already completely dry and it's only been a few seconds. This is still sticky and it's going to stay like this. It's not sticky like it's melting, like I'm sweating. Just different finishes, but it's for you to compare. I love how this is equally healthy looking. It's very radiant too. It's not a flat matte. It has more coverage. I'm gonna come closer so you guys can see. So put a little bit of emphasis on the pores. It is very glowy. It has reduced the redness. It unifies the skin tone. But on this side, completely blurred away. You don't see the pore or barely. It has a little bit more coverage, completely dry, but it has that really nice velvet finish. So it really just depends what what kind of makeup you're looking for. And my fifth foundation that I really, really like at Chanel, baby girl agrees. It is Ultra Le Teint, this Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation. It has a beautiful coverage. It's, I would say, medium to full coverage. Again, I am using shade B30. Quite thick, quite creamy. It's not running down my skin. So I'm going to apply it with the same type of brush to show you. And this one, this foundation, this B30 is warmer than the other ones. So I guess all B30s are not made equal. How amazing the coverage is. It is an all-day wear. Once it's there, it's not moving, it dries, it sets completely on your skin, but it gives you that super great radiance. So I'm gonna come closer so you see how it just creates that super flawless finish. It reduces the appearance of your pores, it kind of blurs, super radiant, completely dry, there's no stickiness. I do powder the T-zone anyway. It is very comparable Parure Gold Skin, the matte one. It is very, very, very close. I think this one is a little bit more, the Guerlain one has maybe a little bit more coverage and a little bit more matte, but it's extremely close. It's just a beautiful finish. It's a very glam foundation. If you want to have like a full glam or a makeup that is a little bit more makeup-y, I would go for a foundation like this. So I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video and you found it helpful and informative. I love these 5 foundations at Chanel. I cannot say which one is my favorite one. I think they all have a different look, a different finish, a different style. So depending on the makeup I'm doing, I will use something different. There are a lot of options out there. It just depends on your budget, your skin type, what you're looking for. But I think these foundations are never going to let you down. I've been using Chanel for a very long time and there's a reason why they're so popular. There are many other brands that are super good. I love Guerlain, I love YSL, but I tend to use these ones a little bit more. So let me know what you guys think down below. I'll make sure I list these foundation below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, put it down below. I'll make sure to reply to you. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button to receive notification when a new video is being posted. And a big thanks for watching.